Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. Winter storm update. And excuse me, and we've basically, what has changed? Well, the models continue that warm trend. That's still showing up. Nevertheless, we're holding with our forecast from a little earlier today. No major changes. We did add a range of possible mounts graphics. So winter storm watch, those haven't changed. That's all still the way it had been. So let's see, let's just take you through a couple slides. Again, no changes with the watch that's in effect. We still think that snow and sleet is at the very onset. If there's any snow, it's going to be right near the Virginia border. You know, all of central North Carolina might be free of snow. It might just go, even up near the Virginia border, might just go straight to sleet. If there was any snow, it'd be, you know, maybe late Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, sleet will be the predominant P-type for several hours late Saturday across much of central North Carolina before mixing with or changing to freezing rain. Okay, so freezing rain it's turning out to be more of a heavy ice accumulation situation for all of central North Carolina. Obviously, there'll be hazardous travel conditions. There'll be black ice for subsequent nights after the event's over. Clearly, just depending on how much ice accumulates, you know, once you get more than, say, a quarter of an inch of ice on the trees, tree branches, they begin to snap, fallen power lines, power outages. There could be, you know, numerous, if not widespread in some areas, power outages, maybe even prolonged in some cases. And of course, the extreme cold that we've been talking about. So I want to just go ahead and just sort of jump right into the amounts. And while we have added these range of possibility maps, we don't have an explicit map for sleet. Sleet, unfortunately, gets kind of lumped in with snow. So if you're looking at our official snowfall forecast and you're along I-85, let's say, and you're seeing that 1 inch snow amount, I just want to make it clear that that's mostly comprised of sleet totals. If you're down near, let's say, Southern Pines, for example, and you're seeing a ½ inch of snow, if you're in Southern Pines, I can almost guarantee you're not going to see a single flake of snow, but you probably will see a ½ inch of sleet before it changes over to freezing rain. Okay, so just wanted to make that clear. There could be, in a worst case scenario, as much as 2 inches of sleet up near Henderson, Roxborough, Roanoke Rapids. Once you get north of the Virginia line, those values are more a combination of snow and sleet. Okay, so, but again, you have to get north of the Virginia border before those values are more representative of both snow and sleet. Okay, so again, northern half of central North Carolina, 1 inch of sleet is pretty much what we're expecting, maybe as much as 2 inches near the Virginia border, and a coating of sleets elsewhere further south. In terms of freezing rain, I really have to mention this right at the get-go. This only accounts for freezing rain through 7 a.m. Sunday. The way we generate these probabilistic amounts, they only go out through the next 72 hours, okay? So if you're looking at these values and you're saying, wait a minute, what's the big deal? You're only calling for, you know, 1700s at Raleigh, for example. You know, yeah, if that was it, if that was a storm total, it wouldn't be a big deal. But this is only through 7 a.m. There's going to be more ice that accumulates after that. So if the storm ends up, you know, dumping it more in the overnight hours into Sunday morning, there could be as much, more of a worst case scenario, as much as 4/10 plus whatever happens after that. So again, if you want to see the storm total amounts beyond 7 a.m. Sunday, there's a link up here. I'll demo that towards the end that you can click on and go kind of gather that information for your specific pinpoint area. Okay, I'll come back to that at the end. All right, then of course we have been talking about the bitter cold. I drew a box around 6 a.m. Tuesday morning because that's when that's the lowest temperatures in this 5-6 day period that I'm showing here. These are 3 hourly so you can get a sense of when we go above freezing, below freezing, how cold it's going to get. But suffice it to say, we're looking at some really brutally cold readings, through early next week. It's just going to be a cold week, but the coldest period will be, around daybreak Tuesday morning. And these are wind chills for Monday night around that same time, around daybreak Tuesday morning. We're talking near zero or even a few degrees below zero wind chill readings. Okay, so be prepared for that. The timing, I've sent this out. I sent this timing graphic out a few hours ago. I'm going to leave it in the 4 p.m. update slides. But clearly you could see that, and we broke it down. We tried to provide more time resolution for Saturday, breaking out morning, afternoon, evening, overnight. And clearly you could see that a trend from earlier today is that it's looking more like a later start in the day. So if you've got some last minute things you need to do during the morning or even early afternoon, you're probably fine. But by the time we get to sunset and evening, things will go downhill, deteriorate conditions very rapidly. And the worst of it, we're thinking, is, later evening, overnight, into the day on Sunday. And then there's going to be one last push of precipitation that comes, honestly, almost like with a cold front, if you will, late on Sunday evening, maybe Sunday night. That's going to push through. And then once that pushes through, then it'll be pretty much over. It'll be drying out behind that front. Okay. There's a couple caveats with that front, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I just wanted to continue to highlight red for Sunday night, because if it continues, if the cold air remains trapped at the surface, there could be a period Sunday night where we get into, again, additional ice accumulations. Okay. All right. So again, significant ice accumulations. That's one takeaway. Another takeaway is, coming in a little later, things kind of deteriorating Saturday evening, and then these slides. We'll have these slides updated certainly by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Obviously we'll be updating them throughout the event as conditions warrant. So I wanted to kind of go through the slides real quick, just so that, folks who, only have a few minutes to stay on can get the bulk of that briefing and to drop off if they need to. I want to go back to this slide, which is range of ice accumulations. And I pointed out that it only goes through 7 a.m. Sunday. If you go ahead and click on this link, forecast points. And I'm going to, normally I don't take questions now, but Jason said here on the forecast point website, does the ice section include sleet or just freezing rain? And the ice section just includes from freezing rain. Remember, the snow part, sleet is lumped in with snow. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a location, and let's go with we'll go with Oxford. Yeah. So Jason, this is for you. So if you just click on your location, it's valid for this little square box, right? We do this in 2.5 kilometer grids. So if you were to click a little bit further south, you can see it's valid for this yellow 2.5 kilometer grid. So anyway, you get the week at a glance, you get the hour by hour table. I'm more of a fan of the line graphs, so you can continue scrolling down and you can see the temperature trends. You can mouse over it and see when temperatures fall below or above certain thresholds. But let's just go right down to the timing. And you can see the probability of precipitation is highest between 7 p.m. Saturday and 12 a.m. Monday. So this is the time period that we expect, the most likely, if not pretty much categorical chance that it will be precipitating during that period of time. And if you scroll down, these precip amount green bars represent the amount of precipitation if you took what was frozen, melted it, and then added it to any rain that fell. So we call it liquid equivalent. And then further down, if you continue to scroll down, you'll see these snow amounts come in 6-hour blocks. And so, for example, if you mouse over this first one, 1 p.m. through 7 p.m. on the 24th, that'd be Saturday, 0.2 inches. From 7 p.m. Saturday to 1 a.m. Sunday, another 0.7, and so on. This is representative of sleet, okay? So sleet gets represented or mixed in with snow, okay? And then if you scroll further down, you'll see here's the freezing rain. And you're probably thinking, well, is it gonna do both sleet and freezing rain? Well, so there is always a little overlap due to the uncertainty of when it's going to change from one type to the other. So if it changes early, then these last few blocks later with the sleet probably won't happen. But if it holds on to sleet longer, then these first few blocks of freezing rain may not happen. Okay, so you get the idea of how to use this. There's always going to be a little overlap due to the uncertainty and the timing of the precip type changeover. But if it switches over early and you're able to add up and capture all of these precipitation amounts, namely in ice accumulation, you just get out the calculator, and I'm going to do a really rough calculation here. So this is what, 1700ths. This is, if my math is correct, 27 hundredths. Another, this would be 3742. This would take us to, don't laugh if my math is wrong here. This would put us over a ½ inch, and this would probably get us close to 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So yeah, if you add up all these bars for these 6-hour periods, you're probably looking at about 3/4 of an inch of ice accumulation. And again, for this particular location that I picked was Oxford. Okay. If you add up these sleet amounts, that's 9 hundredths. That's 1.5, that's 1.9, and 2.0. So, if it fell predominantly for a longer period of sleet, that would be 2 inches of sleet. Let me tell you, either way, whether you get 2 inches of sleet or 3/4 of an inch of ice, that's obviously very impactful. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how you can get those full event totals for your specific pinpoint location. Okay, and if we go back to the slides, here's the link up here. And remember, these maps, with every time we update these briefings, these maps will go out a little bit further into the future. Okay, so by this time tomorrow, these maps should go through 7 a.m. Monday and will encompass the entire event. Okay, so when we come back on tomorrow, when I show you these range of possibilities, that will capture the entire precip event. Okay, so that is what I have for my recorded part.